Welcome back. It's Manny the Giant, and I'm back with another video. And today we're going to talk about Andy Ruiz versus Jamil Millers. Now, Andy coming off of a win against Luis Ortiz 2 years ago after he did his whole 2 year layoff, is finally coming back to the ring against Jamil Millers. Fun fact about this whole fight: Jamil Miller pulled out of the Anthony Joshua fight, giving Andy Ruiz a chance, and Andy Ruiz beat Anthony Joshua for the belt. So this fight is kind of ironic because Jamil Miller is actually pulled out, and uh, you get the point. You get the point. But let's get started and let's break down our fighters. Now, Andy Ruiz is 34 years old. His stance is orthodox. He is 6'2". His reach is 74 with 37 bouts, 170 rounds, with a 62.86 KO percentage. And his only losses against Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker. And his nickname is the Destroyer. Don't let this body fool you. He will destroy anybody. Pause. But Jamil Millers is 35 years old with an orthodox stance. His height is 6'4" with a 78 reach with 28 bouts, my bad. With 119 rounds with an 84.62% KO percentage. With his only losses against Daniel, his nickname is Big Baby. I'm not making that up. That's literally his nickname. Now, advantages for each fighter. Now, Andy Ruiz has fought more bouts and more rounds than Jamil Miller's, giving him the experience. Uh, he has fought better people than Jamil Miller's. For example, Anthony Joshua, Luis Ortiz, and Chris. I'm not going to even say that last name. Um, he has more experience with Jamil Miller's in fighting taller people than him. For example, Anthony Joshua, Luis Ortiz, they're taller than Jamil Miller's. Now, Jamil Miller's, he has the height and reach advantage. He has fought more. He has fought more in the last 2 years than Andy Ruiz, and he has more knockout power than Andy Ruiz. And he's only 1 year older than him. Like that's not gonna make a difference, but that's that's still something. So that's for the advantage of each fighter. Now, for the last four bouts, Andy Ruiz has fought against and won against Luis Ortiz, Chris Olive. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Um, Anthony Joshua, but his only loss in those 2 years was against Anthony Joshua in his last four opponents. Now, Jamil Miller's, he lost his last bout. He won against Luca Brown. He also won against Derek, and he also won against. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that, but you get the point. The only thing that really concerns me about this is that Jamel Millers has fought people with their kind of record kind of sucks. Like they're not really like big people. Big names. Oh, Andy Ruiz had fought against Luis Ortiz and Anthony Joshua and Chris, which are bigger names than anything that Jamil Millers have fought against. Now, don't get me wrong. No, don't get me wrong. That's not really like an advantage against Andy Ruiz, saying that he fought against bigger names. Just because you're a bigger name does not mean that you're like that doesn't mean that you're like a better boxer just because you have a bigger name than someone. Like Jake Paul is a bigger name than half of the boxers inside the ring, but he's not better than most of them. So that's for the example. But if I had to choose their best matchup and their best performance, I gotta go with Anthony Joshua against when he pulled the upset of the century, and with Andy Ruiz and Jamil Miller's. I guess his best performance is when he lost. Even though he lost, I feel like that's his best performance up until now. My prediction is Andy Ruiz will win. I know he hasn't fought in over 2 years, but I think he's gonna pull off this win. I mean, the only thing that concerns me about Andy Ruiz is that his 2 months layoff. and he should. I think he should have been fighting, but the 2 year layoff. And also, I think that he's gonna come in really sharp, but that does not mean that Jamil Millers will not try to take his head off. I think that this will go to a unanimous decision by Andy Ruiz, but that's all I got. Andy Ruiz by unanimous decision. And if by any point that if Jamil Miller wins, I gotta go with knockout. It's either a unanimous decision by Andy Ruiz, which that's mostly I think what's going to happen, or knockout by Jamil Miller's. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys. This is Manny the Giant, and I'm signing out.